You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful humans. Happy Wednesday, happy Mercury Day, and happy birthday to Kyrie Irving, Michelle Monaghan, Carrie Russell, Aisha Curry, Perez Hilton, Joan Crawford, Brandon Marshall. A lot of athletes have birthdays today. Gordon Hayward, lots of Aries to celebrate today. And if it's your birthday or someone you know, let me know in the comments. I'll give them a little shout out. I love celebrating each new day and the people born on this day. It gives us an idea of the energy we are tapping into. And I've been wanting to try these new sound effects that this streaming software offers. So there you go. Finally got a chance to try them. So today we are talking all about a conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. We'll go through that. We'll go through the moon's movements and stay until the end because I have another exciting announcement, new stuff to bring you in this new year. So we'll talk about that at the very end. But this week, I love when this happens. It's happened before. It really feels like Moon Day was a true moon day. A lot of people were really feeling tired and kind of slow on Monday. Mars Day, we were talking about, yesterday, the square between Mars and Uranus for Mars Day. And today, Mercury Day, we have a major Mercury transit. So we love synchronicities like that. And Mercury Day will definitely be true to its name today. But actually, the Mercury energy will be with us through the end of the week. And you know what? Let me pull up. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, but I think it's worth showing you again because we have a lot of Mercury activation. So here we go. Let me pull this up for you. Is it going to let me? Hold on. Here we go. But the rest of the week, every day, we have major Mercury transits to talk about. So today, of course, we have this conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. Tomorrow, we have Mercury forming a supportive angle to the North Node. Then on Friday, Mercury squares off to Lilith. On Saturday, Mercury gets support from Pluto. And on Sunday, Mercury enters a new sign, Aries. So although today is Mercury Day and we're talking all about this conjunction, we're really going to be feeling Mercury's energy, as you can see here, through the rest of the week. Seriously, every single day for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 days, we have Mercury transits to talk about. As someone who is ruled by Mercury, we love talking about Mercury transits. But if you are a Gemini rising or a Virgo rising, like I am, Mercury is our ruling planet. So we're really going to feel Mercury's movements, Mercury's connections, maybe a little bit more than other people who aren't ruled by Mercury. So that's what's going on today. And our affirmation of the day, very on point for this conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. My dreams are as big as my imagination. My dreams are as big as my imagination. And today we'll really feel imaginative with this conjunction happening. So we'll pull up the chart here and you can see with your own eyeballs, Mercury is at 23 degrees. Neptune is at 23 degrees in Pisces. Now, we've talked a little bit about Mercury in Pisces, but I want to remind you, Mercury does not like to be in Pisces. It's not a strong placement for Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication. It's the planet of thought. It rules our rational mind. So it likes precision. It's very Virgo or Gemini. It likes to know all the little details, and it likes things to be very clear cut, really enjoys clarity. Pisces is anything but clear. Pisces is murky. It's cloudy. It's the things that can be felt, but not, we can't really put our finger on them. You know what I'm saying? So Mercury and Pisces over the past 2 weeks or so, you might have found your mind drifting a little bit more, daydreaming more. You might have found yourself imagining or kind of dreaming up big ideas, but not necessarily in a place to act on them or like knowing exactly how things are going to look. This is more of a brainstorming, dreaming energy. And that's why today's affirmation has to do with dreaming. But Mercury's conjunction to Neptune today, this is exact at 11 a.m. So we're definitely feeling this already as we wake up this morning. And if you're like me and you're ruled by Mercury, again, Gemini and Virgo risings, you might have felt a little bit tired today because Neptune's influence can definitely make us more tired. So that's especially true for Mercury-ruled beings like myself. But let's talk about the positives and the negatives of this conjunction. There are definitely two sides of this transit. Good morning, Bailey. Oh yeah, totally been thinking about your dreams and goals this morning. And if I remember correctly, I think you're a Virgo, right? But remind me of your rising sign. Yeah, it's definitely a dreamy energy. And that's the positive side of this, is that we are able to lean into our imagination and think about our big dreams and let our mind kind of drift and wander. And that can be a really beautiful thing, because when Mercury and Neptune form a conjunction, it's like the boundaries of our imagination disappear. Like, this is the day to let your mind go to all the weird places. Let your conscious drift into other realms, or your consciousness drift into other realms. All right, artistic side can shine through as well. Neptune brings some artistry with it, and we can be more compassionate and empathetic in our communication as well, because Neptune brings that level of empathy, of sensitivity. We're more in tune with our own feelings, with the feelings of other people. Again, this makes us much more empathetic in our communication when Neptune is involved, especially because Mercury and Neptune are both in Pisces, Neptune's home sign. So it's very sweet and sensitive, and our thoughts, although they might be a little bit cloudy and out there, should have kind of a positive, dreamy, almost like you're thinking through rose-colored glasses, or, there's just like this rosy tint to all of your thoughts today. You might even find yourself more interested in studying spiritual topics or learning something new about a spiritual concept, because Mercury really likes to learn things, and being in Pisces, being conjunct Neptune, it's inviting us to open our consciousness to new information about spirituality, whatever that looks like for you. Allow your mind and your interest to lead the way today. This is really, that's right, you're a Cap rising. And a Sag moon. That's so interesting, Bailey, because my best friend has the same placements as you. I just realized the exact same big three. But yeah, we can all dream a little bit more, even if we're not Virgo risings or Gemini risings. I would just say Neptune's influence, if you are one of those rising signs, could be a little bit more like intense for you. Not in a bad way, just like if you're a Virgo rising or a Gemini rising like myself, you really like that clarity and precision. So Mercury in Pisces has probably felt like a little uncomfortable. So anyway, it's a really beautiful energy we're working with today, with Mercury and Neptune coming together, allowing us to dream and imagine. However, let's talk about the shadow side. With all transits, there's a shadow and a light. So let's talk about the potential for this to get us into a sticky situation. I would say today is not the day to make a major decision or make a major judgment. This is a great day to, like I said, let your mind wander, but Neptune's influence, Pisces influence, can make us more susceptible to confusion, delusion, and illusion. So it could be your own mind deceiving you. Misunderstandings are possible as well with the planet of communication in this. It's at fall. It doesn't like being here, so clarity is not really on our side. And we can be deceived by other people more easily as well because Mercury is in a weak position, because Neptune is also kind of clouding our rational judgment. So I would say definitely don't sign any contracts today unless this is something that you have been working through, talking through for a long time. The deal has been set in stone for a long time. If it's an opportunity that's presented to you today or something that's like you need to act now, I would say shy away from it because, like I said, we're more easily deceived. We're more gullible because we do see the good in people, and we are more sensitive and empathetic and compassionate. So if something seems too good to be true today, it probably is. So really using this energy to allow yourself to get lost in the fantasy, allow your mind to wander, allow yourself to dream as big as you can possibly dream, but wait until Mercury moves into Aries, like we talked about at the end of the week on Sunday, before you start making decisions and taking action on those dreams, on those thoughts. Today's really the day to just stay open to all the possibilities. Ooh, curious what today looks like for a Gemini sun, Leo rising, Taurus moon. Okay, let me think about this. So none of the planets are in your big three areas of your chart other than Uranus and Taurus, but that's been there for a long time. With the moon in Sag, it's opposing your sun. So this is kind of like a full moon individual moment for you. You could have kind of you could be like really feeling yourself and like have a lot of energy today actually as the moon opposes your sun. And Leo rising, we're in Aries season, so the sun is harmonizing with your rising and the moon is harmonizing with your rising. So you have a lot of fire energy to work with today, Jackie. Taurus moon isn't really doing a whole lot for you today as far as like making connections. It is supporting this conjunction in Pisces, so that's nice. You'll probably feel a little bit like more nurtured the more you allow yourself to dream and your mind to kind of expand and drift off and fantasize. But I see today, just basic looking at the energy for you, as you have a lot of fire energy to work with, just a lot of energy to work with in general. So you'll probably feel a little bit more energized. But at the same time, like I said, your moon is being supported by this conjunction in Pisces. So I don't know what your exact degrees and everything, but that's just a general look at how this is going to affect you. And yes, we love a day for dreaming big. Absolutely. And, we say this all the time, but nothing happens by accident in astrology. So when we align with the energy and we use the energy, it's like the universe is giving us this opportunity to dream and allow ourselves to go there and letting us know, like, this isn't the time necessarily to make decisions or take action. It is a period of time to let ourselves just drift off, let our mind wander. Okay, so let's talk about the moon now. The moon is still in Sagittarius, and it's very fiery energy. The moon in Sag is making a nice harmonious connection to the sun in Aries, so it's very complementary. We have a lot of fire energy to work with today, with the moon and the sun both in fire signs. We're feeling more social, more outgoing under this lunation. And the Sag moon, the beautiful thing about a Sagittarius moon is that it reminds us to have some fun, to let our hair down, especially because the moon is coming into its peak releasing phase this Friday. So we're being asked to let go, to release, and the Sagittarius energy reminds us that sometimes the best way to release and get things out of us is literally to just have fun, to let ourselves feel free. And you'll get some bonus points, I think, from the universe if you move your body in the process, because fire energy really thrives with movement. So moving your body, maybe dancing around your house, doing some sort of fun exercise can help you clear out any stagnant energy that you've been trying to get out of you, or bring through any emotions that need to be released. Oh yeah, Jackie, you'll have the fire to clean today for sure. You'll definitely have the energy to work with. So if you set your mind to something, I think for anybody today with the moon in Sagittarius, if you set your mind to something, like, especially if it comes to like moving around, we have the energy to do it. Maybe not the mental clarity to like organize your whole house, but cleaning, moving, throw on some fun music while you're at it. Definitely great for this phase of the moon. And cleaning is a great way to release as well. I mean, spoken like a true Virgo, of course, but the Sagittarius moon will give us the fire to kind of just like purge in a fun way. So at 7 a.m. this morning, the moon harmonized with Chiron. So you can see that on our chart here. The moon is over here in Sag. Chiron is at 11 degrees in Aries over here. And so when the moon and Chiron form this nice harmonious angle, it's really setting the stage for the day, asking us to heal through movement. This goes right along with the moon being in its releasing phase. We could have a nice healing moment if we allow ourselves to release. This could even be a day to like kind of push your body past what you think your physical limits are, especially with this dreamy conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. We can't allow ourselves to like dream of what we're capable of, and the fiery energy between the sun and the moon help us move, actually move that energy. So moving your body, running that extra 10 minutes or quarter of a mile, or doing an extra long yoga practice, maybe taking a workout class that's a little harder than you normally take today, could make for an incredibly healing moment, especially earlier in the day. So if you're feeling that fire energy as you wake up and you're feeling this like urge to move, I would say listen to that urge, because it could bring about a lot of healing with Chiron in Aries and the moon in Sagittarius. Now, right now, we're dealing with an awkward angle between the moon and Uranus. This is the only negative. There's no good or bad in astrology, but this is the only uncomfortable, I should say, transit that we are experiencing today. It's not a bad transit. It's more like when the moon and Uranus are playing this balancing act, they can't quite get on the same page. We could be kind of questioning things. We could be questioning the future. We could want to do things a little bit differently, or have this like urge to find some excitement, but at the same time, we're just not quite seeing things like how things are going to play out. This could also bring moments of doubt or inability to see all of the possibilities, pretty much on point with the conjunction between Mercury and Neptune too. Like, our mind is dreaming and it's all over the place and it's a little cloudy, but Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius is the archer. It likes direction. It likes to know where we're going, which is why movement is a great way to use this energy. But this awkward angle to Uranus literally right now is just kind of like, okay, but where are we going? Like, what is the future going to look like? So if the vibe feels just slightly off this morning, it might not. This isn't a strong connection by any means. It's not a major connection. But if the vibe feels a little bit off, this goes for any transit any day, honestly, especially with the moon. Just wait for the moon to move to a more favorable position, because the moon moves very quickly. It's our fastest moving body in our solar system, at least for us here on Earth. So, just if it feels off right now, it's going to get a lot better later in the day. Actually, by like 10:30 this morning, because you'll see the moon is going to come into a nice supportive angle with Mars when it just gets 1 degree further. So we'll probably feel that energy a little bit more than this connection to Uranus. But this sextile between the moon and Mars, about 10:30 a.m., so as our day is really picking up speed, this gives us a boost of energy. It helps us tap into our motivation. Again, this is all about movement. So move your body, allow your motivation to really like push you physically, This can also make us feel more confident when the moon and Mars are supporting each other. And Mars is in Aquarius. So Mars is almost, it's like asking us to do things a little bit differently today. We really have the ability, when the moon and Mars connect in this aspect by midday, we have the ability to level up. Because Mars in Aquarius wants us to see things from a different perspective, or do things from a different perspective, actually. So, and the moon in Sagittarius, like we've been saying, gives us all the energy and the fire to do it. So we really do have the potential today to level up. But this is something that's already been in the works. This isn't something like a new endeavor, because Mercury and Neptune, any new endeavor that enters our sphere, we should probably wait, like I said, to jump on it. But the moon forming a sextile to Mars, we have the motivation, we have the confidence, we have the energy by midday, and then shortly after, by about 4 p.m., so really the energy we'll feel the most in the middle of the day is this nice supportive angle between the moon and Mars, and then another supportive angle between the moon and Venus. And when that happens, we can feel more passionate, affectionate. If we look for beauty around us by midday today, or even early afternoon, this is 4 p.m. that this is exact, we're going to find it really easily. So if you open yourself up to beauty and love, it'll be right there waiting for you. We can reach for it more easily. The same goes for pleasure as well. And the moon in Sagittarius makes us feel more optimistic. So we're able to kind of see silver linings, experience enhanced motivation, enhanced pleasure, enhanced affection, and more passion in general today. Like, this is a great vibe. We love a Sagittarius moon, and these nice supportive connections to Venus and Mars are just the cherry on top. Now, we do have a square with the moon today. This happens at 9 p.m. The moon is going to square off to Jupiter in Pisces. Normally with squares, we're like, ooh, brace yourself. Like, there's going to be a clash. There's going to be something intense. Luckily, when Jupiter is involved in really any sort of aspect, Jupiter is the great benefic. You know, it's like we can find positivity in pretty much any Jupiter connection. And we love that. We love that during a Sagittarius moon too. So when the moon squares off to Jupiter, again, 9 p.m. Pacific time, expect this could be like almost a surge of energy, an abundance of energy. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and optimism. We'll feel more spontaneous and carefree. But remember, we can also be confused or deceived more easily because of this conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. So the one warning label I will give with this square between the moon and Jupiter tonight at 9 p.m. is don't misplace your energy. If you direct it in the wrong place, you could find yourself in a little bit of a sticky situation, maybe even a confrontation. And this would more look like a confrontation between your desire to like go hard and your body. So like beware of excess tonight. Beware of, it could be really easy to go overboard. So when the moon squares Jupiter, we want to kind of find a place of moderation, especially with all the Pisces energy. It's very easy to get sucked into a fantasy or kind of lost in another world. I would say be especially careful with substances tonight. It could be really easy to overserve yourself. And then the final connection we'll talk about today is another sextile, another supportive angle between the moon and Saturn. This happens at midnight. So most of us will probably be asleep, but if you're not, this nice support from Saturn can help us kind of slow our roll after that burst of energy with the moon and Jupiter. Saturn is like, okay, it's time to cool off. It's time to calm down, slow down, gives us more patience and maturity, and helps us end the night on more of a responsible note. You might just sleep right through this, but if you don't and you find yourself at 9 p.m. like buzzing because of the square between the moon and Jupiter, just know that Saturn is coming in an hour or two to help calm you down, get you back into your body, get you kind of in a more, like I said, mature, responsible state. So yeah, that's what's going on. We still have the square between Mars and Uranus playing out in the background. So Mars over here in Aquarius, Uranus and Taurus, still within a degree of that square. So confrontations, clashes are still possible today. Remember, people aren't necessarily thinking clearly. So try to come from that place of compassion and empathy and grace for other people and for yourself. But we're pulling away from that square. So that's the good news. We dealt with that mostly yesterday. All right. Those are the transits. Let's do an overview and then we will pull a card. So today we have a conjunction between Mercury, the planet of communication, and Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusions. This can certainly cloud our rational mind. We might not be thinking very clearly. However, this transit brings a beautiful potential to dream big, expand your imagination, let your mind wander. Just maybe don't make any decisions today because this is a day for dreaming, not necessarily for doing. The moon is in Sagittarius, though, giving us plenty of energy. It harmonizes with Chiron, allowing for a healing opportunity today, especially through moving our body or having fun. The moon also gets support from Mars and Venus throughout the day, giving us more motivation, allowing us to reach for pleasure, love, affection more easily. This brings definitely some good vibes, but the moon squares off to Jupiter tonight. Could be easy to go overboard, be a little bit excessive, get a little lost in a party. So just try to moderate yourself, watch yourself, and know that Saturn is coming in to connect with the moon at the very end of today to bring us back down to our senses and help us end the day with a little bit more maturity and responsibility. All right, I'm going to pull from the Starseed Oracle deck today because see, this is Mercury and Pisces, you guys. Mercury and Neptune in Pisces just screams to me starseed. So as always, this is your time to ask questions. Oh, hi, Madison. Loving starting my day with you. I saw that you're in Vegas. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited that you're giving yourself this opportunity. Madison is working on a documentary. I interviewed her on my show, The Spiritual Journalist, a couple months ago now, but you can find that at thespiritualjournalist.com/join the conversation. We talked all about her journey, her story, and now she's working on a documentary to share it with the world. So excited for you. I'm so happy to see you here. All right, let's find out what message needs to come through today. What do we need to know? Ooh, it says loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. I already feel this is so perfect for today for so many reasons, but let's see what the guidebook has to say. This really screams to me that square between the moon and Jupiter, as well as the conjunction between Mercury and Neptune. But again, we'll start here. We'll start with the guidebook. Loosen your grip. We're cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. The food, the substances, the relationship, the job, the people-pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something, it doesn't serve us, or clinging to it for fear of not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us, whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. Ooh. Whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay. But you can be sure that what is for you will find you, and you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? Oh my gosh, what a truth bomb today. Few reasons this is so on point for today's forecast. So this conjunction between Mercury and Neptune is asking us to let God in, is asking us to leave that space, to empty ourselves for grace to come in. It's really like asking us to float off on a cloud and just allow, right? at least mentally. Then the Sagittarius moon, like we talked about, is in its releasing phase, asking us to let go, let God, let our hair down, have a little fun, and trust. A lot of today's energy is about trusting, is about believing. Sagittarius energy and Pisces energy both want us to do this. And so this card is that reminder to trust, to let go, to believe that what is meant for you is coming to you. And as I said, we have that square between the moon and Jupiter with so much Pisces energy too. This could feel like addictions coming up for you, or like the need to reach for that addiction to fill any discomfort, to fill any confusion. I think a lot of times we're searching for clarity, and sometimes we just reach for something to fill that space because we don't like uncertainty. I don't know if that resonates for you, but it could be easy tonight, especially late tonight, to reach for something that fills that void when the moon squares Jupiter. I would invite you not to. Leave that space. This card is asking us to leave the space. Let God in, let spirit in. Just allow yourself to be a little bit empty, be a little bit vulnerable. Create space for whatever is coming into your life, for whatever is meant for you. I love this card so much. Loosen your grip. And it specifically says addiction. So we also have that trine between the Sagittarius moon and Chiron and Aries. Could bring up some addictive behaviors and allow for a healing moment if we are aware, right? It's all about awareness, and you're here. So you're aware now. I'm so happy. Also, Madison, if you're still watching, I when I was shuffling, I was like, I feel like Madison is going to need this card today, and I really feel like this is meant for you to loosen your grip. I know that you have such a tight grip on that documentary, and I'm so excited to see it, but allow yourself to just like loosen a little bit and let it flow a little bit more is what I'm hearing for you. So always with love, always with love. Okay, guys, love that card pull. A few little housekeeping items before I leave you. So actually, I have another fun announcement. We're doing a fun new launch every day of this astrological new year. So let me pull it up for you. I am offering some new readings now. And, my same readings will still be available at thespiritualjournalist.com/readings. But let me open up this window a little bit wider so you can see. Okay. So we still have our basic readings, the Virgo, your basic birth chart reading, the Scorpio, full detailed natal astrology reading, the Capricorn. This one's really fun. We can pick the perfect date for you according to the planets. Capricorns love long-term planning. So if you're planning a wedding or a baby shower or anything like that, and you're kind of up in the air about a couple different dates, we can look at those for you. And the Gemini helps us align with the current energy. So it looks at your chart, the current chart, and figures out what's being activated the most for you right now. But I just launched 4 new readings. These ones I'm really excited about. They're super fun. So we have the Libra, something I've gotten a lot of requests for. It's going to be a compatibility love reading. So you and your partner, or if your partner doesn't want to join you, we can just use their chart anyway. But this will use a synastry chart and show the connections that are being made between your two charts. We'll look at your Venus placements, your Mars placements, talk about how you best give and receive love, any major connections that are being made between the two charts. And then with all of these readings, we do a card pull at the end. So for this one, we'll do a card pull for each of you. And also with all of the readings, you can ask questions as much as you'd like. Then we have the Aquarius. This is the one I think I'm most excited about because it just sounds so fun. This is the bestie reading. So this is an opportunity if you want to, maybe you don't want to invest as much money, or you don't feel 100% like, I don't know if this is for me. Grab your best friend. They can be anywhere in the world. The readings are virtual, and we'll look at each of your charts, do like a mini reading for each of you, or a basic reading for each of you, and any major connections or conjunctions that are happening between your two charts. Grab a cocktail. We can make this a friend date. It's going to be so fun. Then I'm also launching the Aries, just in time for Aries season. This is for all the parents out there. So if you want to understand your child better, Aries is known as the baby of the zodiac. Definitely some little kid energy right now. this is going to help you get a basic understanding of your child's natal chart, how to best support them using their sun, moon, and rising signs, using the moon phase they were born under, any major planetary placements. There's, my friend Court Burns, who was on the show on Monday, has a whole course you can take to learn about your kid's astrology chart. But if you're just looking for 30 to 40 minutes to sit down and gain a basic understanding, this reading is for you. And then the final reading I'm launching for now, we'll have a few more rolling out later in the year, is the mother reading, the Cancer. This can actually be used for any family member, but I have a feeling people will want to look at their mother's birth charts. So you'll just have to ask your parent or find a copy of their birth certificate, what their time, place, date of birth is, and we'll look at their chart. We'll also look at your chart and kind of maybe what major aspects are playing out, but really the goal of this reading is to help you understand that family member a little bit better. Or it could be a grandparent, it could be any sort of relative that's close to you, really anybody, but I think for me, I'll just say astrology, looking at my parents' charts, has really benefited my relationship with them. It's allowed me to give them so much more grace. My mom is a double Sagittarius, so it's not the most comfortable energy for me as a Virgo. And for a long time, I was just like, why is she so crazy? Like, why is my mom so crazy? And then I looked at her chart and I was like, oh, okay, you have a ton of Sagittarius energy. You're just like a wild child, And so the same goes for my dad, like understanding his sun, moon, rising. I actually guessed his before I ever looked at his chart. I was like, this is what I think is going on, which was confirmed when I looked at his chart. And it just really helps you see people in their full light. I think any sort of reading you do, anytime you look at someone's chart. And if you don't want to purchase a reading, you can calculate anyone in your life's chart for free anytime at thespiritualjournalist.com/birth chart. That's available to you all the time. You just put in your information and it'll pop right up for you. There's also the option to purchase a $25 report, but you absolutely do not have to. But it's there for you if you kind of want to be able to do a deep dive into your chart at your own pace on your own time. It's like a huge report that you'll get. So anyway, that is today's announcement. New readings launching. Very excited to look into your kids' birth charts, look into your family members' birth charts, maybe hang out with you and your best friend, or look at the compatibility of your relationship. And one more thing I do want to say about that is I don't believe any two signs shouldn't be together or aren't compatible. I really think any two signs can find common ground and there's darkness and light to everything in astrology, right? So I think looking at the full birth chart and what connections are being made can give you a better understanding of how you're compatible, how you work with this other person, the best way that they use their energy or receive energy and vice versa, rather than just being like, okay, well, I'm a Virgo and they're a Gemini, so we're going to clash or whatever it is, So anyway, that's just my little aside. This has been a fun morning chatting with you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself, showing up for others today. Remember that your dreams are only limited by your imagination. Dream big today. Let yourself go there. Let yourself flow with whatever ideas come through. Get creative, get artistic. It's really going to serve you well today. And if you found this live stream helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize this channel and keep bringing you this daily forecast for free. All right, I love you. I'm grateful for you, and I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.